Still Bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, man, I'm up and at 'em today, man. We got a few topics I'm gonna talk about, but first things first, I want to kind of get off my chest, man, and is just the level of stupidity of the level of stupidity and contradiction of Americans, man. We some ignorant motherfuckers, man. That could have been Demetrius Andrade last night, who once again got another mandatory slot with Canelo Alvarez. I don't understand how somebody can be this inept as it pertains to business decisions that they've made throughout the 13-year career. This dude has managed to fumble some big fights, and because of that, people aren't necessarily head over heels about fighting him in the now. And instead of indicting him for that, or at least just holding his feet to the fire, they rather just completely skirt all that shit and stay fixated on Canelo Alvarez. Oh, Canelo ducking him and this and the third and yada yada yada. Man, listen. This dude the fight was already signed, sealed, delivered with him and Zach Parker. He decided not to take that fight for whatever reasons. Motherfuckers can talk all that, he got injured and all that shit. It's a possibility, but where's the medical report to substantiate that? Canelo was clear as day. We saw, him fresh out of surgery. We saw it. We saw that hand. We saw Earl Spence substantiate his claim, not even his claim, the fact that he couldn't fight Manny Pacquiao because he had a detached retina in his eye. We saw that. Where was his for this injury that allegedly occurred during training camp before the fight had even went down, or whatever the case may be? So even if so we could say that it's true, we could say that he sincerely got injured, alright, bet. Why are you going out of your way to drop back down and weight when you're already mandated to fight for your belt against a mandatory? Why are you going to drop back down and try and get a fight with Chris Eubank Jr.? This is the second time that you was told that you have to go see Johnny Beck. The first time you said, I'm going up to 68 to fight. You went up there and instead of saying, alright, I'm injured, but we're going to come back to this fight as soon as, I heal up from these injuries. We're going to come back and we're going to line that up with Zach Parker. You jump back down to try and get a fight with Eubank Jr. You don't think that was going to play a role in your bag? Like, niggas, no. You're already a hot topic, like, not hot topic, but radioactive. People don't even really deal with you like that. The fact that they had somebody already in the head, he ain't going to fight. He's not going to come and fight. We got a backup plan. And that's exactly what happened. They had a backup plan. Like a for real backup plan. You know what I'm saying? You should have known you wasn't going to get that. Nobody is even willing to deal with you like that, man. And I don't like the fact that, it's like, when do we hold, like take Punch Drunk, for example. He doesn't hold Demetrius Andrade's feet to the fire. He's on record talking about he's being conspired against to be to be blackballed by everybody. How is he being blackballed? Where's politics coming in on this man? To step in and intervene to stop Andre from getting title shots and all that. Like how? What politics are you talking about? When Frank Warren took a chance on him. When do we say, this is Andre's doing? When do we say that? Ain't no politics. Everybody want to get mad when we speak on race politics as it pertains to boxing. Which I think a lot of the people who do speak on race politics in boxing completely drag it out. But there's definitely a presence of racism there. Why? Because this is America. There's racism in every sector in American society. I don't give a fuck what it is. It was racism in the NAACP. You know what I mean? It was racism there. You think they're going to be racism in every other sector in America? No. If it's here, is racism exists there, but how these cats definitely speak on it, they do definitely drag it out, and it dilutes the shit. It dilutes the issue. When it's time to actually speak on the issues, nobody is willing to give it an ear because it's like y'all cry racism on every single thing, and it doesn't call for that. But in situations like Andrade is one of the situations where it doesn't call for that, and he's not being colluded against by other sanctioning bodies or promotional banners. No, for the last time, Frank Warren was going to put like $1 million in change in that man's pocket, and instead of him taking that shit, he decided to draw back down. Where's power? And then when you, all right, cool, we'll revisit this fight. But I'm not putting that much money into you. I'm not putting that much money into you. And so instead of you just taking the fight, as I stated before, as an investment, fuck it. Alright, cool, I'll take an L here, but you know, if I win this fight, the ends justify the means. So instead of you doing that, you play yourself out of position. Now, Zach Parker retired. He's not retired, but he gets stopped in 4 rounds due to a hand injury. That could have been you. That could have been you. And now everybody's crying to foul at Canelo Alvarez if he decides to pick John Ryder for the fight. Hey, like, what? Why are you mad at him? Y'all talking greasy about John Ryder. That could have been Andrade, but it wasn't. When do we hold this man accountable, man? I had another dude try to tell me on Facebook that Andrade doesn't fight for he don't fight for money, he fights for legacy. I bet that. So now that he's telling you he's not fighting Zach Parker because he's not getting paid properly, instead of you holding his feet to the fire, or you just coming out and saying, yeah, I was wrong, it's 2 left feet. Instead of you doing that, you backtrack. Oh man, you know, it's a conglomerate of both, which in all actuality it is. I'm not saying don't be properly compensated. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is this: hold that man accountable and admit when you wrong. Because y'all are so caught up in the fact that Canelo was hindering this dude from progressing that y'all will just completely disregard all of the mistakes that he has made. He ducked 2 people twice this year, and the last motherfucker that he ducked got beat in 4 rounds and is out of the Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. When do we hold this dude accountable? When do we hold him accountable? When do we say, bro, you gotta chill, you gotta be a little bit more methodical and smarter in the business decisions that you make? Whoever's in your corner advising you, you need to get rid of him. When do we say that about him? Instead of just, you know, just accommodating this man and enabling him. That's a grown-ass man at the tail end of his career. I don't want to say the tail end. He's 34. He's younger than me. I don't want to say the tail end. But he ain't got, like, if he's going to salvage whatever he can in his career, he needs to start doing that in the now. Because he can't afford to have another year like he's had in the now. He hasn't fought this year, and he's not going to. He's not going to fight this year. And it's wild because now, you know, it's people who are legitimately mad at Canelo for, you know, deciding to fight John Ryder. He hasn't even decided yet. They're just putting that out there. And I think he's going to fight him anyway, man. But, oh, man, fight Charlo, fight Andrade, fight Benavidez. Benavidez, for one, can't fight, you know, Canelo in, you know, for Cinco de Mayo because he has a fight in March. I think that's the date, that the target date that they're aiming for, March, with him and Caleb Plant. So Benavidez is out. Benavidez is out. Oh, fight Charlo, Charlo isn't even at 168 pounds. And we gonna talk about that nigga too. Fight Andrade. Andrade could have been in the sweepstakes. He played himself though. He played himself. And these are the dudes that y'all are praising right here, man. This is American boxing right here, not in totality. The American, you know, Jared Anderson, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Jermell Charlo. These dudes are different from the American, the premier black American fighters that they bang for. Tank ain't in the same breath. He shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath as some other cats. You can even put Earl in there to a certain degree. Even though I don't like how he moves, but he's still a unified world champion. Keith Thurman ain't in that. No, we can't talk about Keith Thurman. We can't put him in there. We can't put Charlo and Andrade in there. We can't put them niggas in there. Because they're not doing the work necessary to be just for as much as the esteem that y'all try to hold the black American fight scene fighters in is just, it's asinine to me. It's asinine to me how y'all can sit there and praise Andrade and Charlo, but y'all can embarrass Danny Jacobs for all the things that he's done in the sport. Y'all would berate him and just completely talk as if he was never a champion and as if he never made a significant run at 160 pounds. Charlo's best win took his first L to Danny Jacobs. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like, come on, man. Like, when do we stop? And when do we start saying, all right, man, we're gonna have y'all eventually y'all gonna have to learn that y'all doing this shit is bogus, and y'all not getting passes on it no more. When do we do that? Y'all don't want to do that because y'all, if you go against that grain, you're a coon. I seen somebody, Art Man posted something about some nigga who had Jose Zepeda winning over Regis Prograis. And just immediately they come out with the coon shit. You coon. I'm like, that is the dumbest shit in the world. Maybe it's a backstory that I'm not sure. I'm not privy of. If that's the case, then I apologize. But it's not cooning to say I think he has what it takes to beat this individual right here. That is past ridiculous how y'all just throw this shit around, bro. Like, this ain't street activism. You know what I'm saying? This ain't grassroots political work. Being a boxing fan, it's not. I'm sure half of you niggas ain't been to a protest a day in your life. I have been to a couple. And that's nothing to brag on or anything like that, man. But, being a stomped down grassroots activist on behalf of the people, that exists outside of these boxing forums on Facebook, outside of the YouTube metaverse. You dig? It just, y'all gotta stop, man. And y'all gotta start holding your own feet to the fire, bro. Because these niggas is not doing it. Like, we gonna sit here and talk breezy about the British boxing scene. They're doing the road work. When's the last time we saw two black American prospects at their peak? Not at their peak, but these is about to be the motherfuckers that's up next. When have we seen two of them get in the ring and mix it up? The way we got with Butayev and Stanionis. The way we got last night with John Ryder and Zach Parker. And John Ryder ain't no prospect. There was a lot of people who had him getting knocked out going into that fight. But when do we start to? When do we do that? When do we do that? I like that we getting Frank Martin and Ali Rivera. I like that. But why don't we get that more often? Why are we getting Felix Cash and Denzel Bentley over there overseas and all that? Why are we getting fights like that often? They're building their scene over there. I had my man tell me today the UK is 20 years behind America in talent. I'm like, that is asinine. That's ridiculous. I'm not saying they produce the same level of talent that we do, because I don't think they do. But 20 years behind is ridiculous. 20 years behind is ridiculous. Especially when you got what's going on with the Ukrainians and the Russians and all that. They're closing the gap. They're closing the gap. Basketball, these Scandinavian, Lithuanian countries and all that, they're closing the gap. Spain, they're closing the gap. They're closing the gap, and where our heads are so far up our asses that we feel like we still got a 20 or 30 year lead on them, and we don't. We don't. And y'all just refuse to. Y'all just refuse to say, nah, homie, you bugging. Like, nah, you need to. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. You're not going to. You're not going to beat him like that, like you think you are. And you're not even at a high enough level to where he shouldn't even be on your radar. No, there's no reason why. There's no justification for Johnny Beck and Andre not fighting. There's no justification for that. No, especially after he did what he did, because I was understanding of it. Yeah, all right, cool. You sidestepping Johnny Beck to go fight Zach Parker because of, I get it. Is it a duck? Yeah, but it's a strategic duck. It makes sense. But all that shit is null and void now because you didn't even fight him. You didn't fight him. You stated that. So when do we start holding our own accountable? When do we start saying, bro, you doing, like, no, that shit is out. You're not getting a pass for doing that.
Now back to more boomerang.
This dude, you was in a pole position to sit there and say, if what you wanted to do was collect a stimulus check from Canelo Alvarez, you had all means to do it right then and there. All you had to do was, all right, cool, we can run that. Fuck it. You were the same dude who Steve. I don't too much fuck with the PBC, but Stephen Espinoza allegedly came out. Not allegedly. Stephen Espinoza came out and said we offered Andre a nice lump sum of money for him to come over to this side of the street and get a fight with Charlo. And what did he say? If Eddie Hearn wants to continue to pay me X amount of dollars to fight so and 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 so, that's what I'm signing with. Okay. And look where that's gotten you. Look where that has gotten you. Because you got, who's on the people? You got, at the very least, you got Carlos Adames and you got Jamal Charlo over there right now.
Yes, it's superior duck. The duck.
You got two reputable middleweights right there. Had you signed with them. But you don't want to sign with them for whatever reason, because the amount of money you was getting was not Showtime, but with Eddie Hearn. I gotta keep this table off. This trash over here. My house is dirty. Let me get the cleaning when I'm done. Talking to my peoples. A few homies that fuck with me. But it's money with y'all. It's money this, money that. Which, okay, by all means, get your cho, my nigga. But when do you start to chase legacy? When have you made enough money we can say, all right, cool, I can chill on this for a minute and go and get a meaningful fight, so that meaningful fight can put me in a position where I can get a legacy fight and secure a bag, a career high payday, which you would have got if you fought Canelo Alvarez. But you didn't. You didn't.
But the word is bullet, not bullet.
But we want to brag on the American boxing scene, the Black American boxing scene, man. Just anything to throw shade at Canelo Alvarez. I'm saying all of this shit that, oh man, John Ryder, he's a bum, he's another Euro bum, he's another domestic. I'm like, what is how is he a domestic level fighter when he's fought world class fighters? He's fought two sitting world champions when they were sitting world champions in Billy Joe Saunders and Colin Smith. And he fought a former world champion in Danny Jacobs. What about that is domestic level? What about that is domestic level? I'm confused. They're going to have to tell me something. What about that says domestic level fighter?
Don't make audiences the way they used to.
Bro, it's just, the delusion with y'all cats is just, it's sickening sitting back and listening to this shit, bro. It's sickening. My man Art said Boots would jump up and beat John Ryder, dog. Boots. The same Boots who has not fought nobody at 147 pounds is going to jump up 3 divisions and beat John Ryder, who's battle tested, acclimated to the division. You can't make it up with just how ridiculous these people's minds. It's just like, yo, y'all are clueless. But this is the Black American boxing, boxers that y'all choose to ride and die with. I'm good, bro. If me being supportive of these cats means I have to, completely disregard logic and and live within and exist within the realm of reason, I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't live in the tank world. I don't live in that. I don't live in that tank fandom realm. I don't live there. I don't live in the Jamal and the Earl Spence and the Demetrius Andrade and the Deontay Wilder overt fanboy realm. I don't live there. I don't want nothing to do with that. I like reality. That's the Matrix over there. I like reality. I like to live. I like to stay grounded in reality. I like to stay grounded in reality. You know, I had a dude tell me, "Oh man, but Art man, once again, I hope this is his last trash fight. And he can stop fighting bums and get destroyed by Charlo and Andrade and Bivol." I'm like, how was he a bum? He beat. I wasn't a fan of the decision, but he beat Danny Jacobs, the same Danny Jacobs that Jamal Charlo went out of his way to avoid. And I'm like, don't speak to me about Bivol, bro, because you was one of the ones who was calling it a cherry pick. I told y'all this ain't no cherry pick, and I made a video and a Facebook status saying I don't see Canelo beating Bivol, and what happened? That's what happens when you're objective to shit. When you're objective. Oh my God. And I'm like, who did Benavidez beat for him to be deemed this Mexican monster? Y'all are hyped off Kyron Davis and David Lemieux, a blown up 160 pounder who got spanked by Golovkin. Golovkin at least is still a unified world champion at 160 pounds. David Lemieux ain't been shit past 160. And y'all sucking David Benavidez's meat off the bone for beating him. But y'all are denigrating Canelo for beating the dude that stopped him early on in his career when he was a champion. What are we talking about? But he's the Mexican monster. And he's gonna be the dude that stops Canelo. So I'm like, y'all eventually gotta pick a side and stick to it. Because if this was anybody else, Andre would not be allowed to do the little goofy. If anybody else was doing what Andre was doing, they would not be able to escape without being reprimanded for it. Andre they're lenient towards him, his fans, instead of calling him out. This shit, y'all just don't even try to be logical with it. That could have been him last night, getting his hand raised and getting that interim strap put around his waist to get a Canelo Alvarez stimulus check. That could have been him. It could have been him. And allegedly, John Ryder took way less than what Andre was even offered. That's what happens when you invest in yourself. You ain't hurting for no money, King. You could have went out there and got that work, and it'd have been what it is. You could have got your hand raised and could have got that fight for Cinco de Mayo. I bet you sick right now, as you should be, because that shit is unexcusable what you did. What the fuck? That pisses me off, actually. As funny as it is to me, it pisses me off because I'm like, this continues. We disregard the mistake that he has made and shine out, and put all of that onus on Canelo Alvarez. We completely disregard what Demetrius Andrade did and put all the onus on Canelo Alvarez for not fighting him at 154 pounds. And all right, cool, whatever the fuck ever. Y'all refuse to speak on him getting the motherfucking petitioning the WBC to get that or the IBF to get that work with him, and you know what I'm saying, bypassing the fight with Sergey Derevianchenko when he was bullshitting in the fucking negotiations. Y'all don't speak on that. Y'all refuse to speak on that because it doesn't go. It's not lock and step with y'all narrative. And it's like, I just can't deal with you dudes, man. But this is the American boxing scene that we must swear by as black people. This is the American boxing scene. Y'all gotta come to your own, man. Start dealing with your own. Come into your own, bro. My own that I'ma deal with: Shakur, Devin, Jared Anderson, Jermell Charlo. Even though I don't like Jermell Charlo, it's undeniable what he's doing. Jermell Charlo, Spence to a certain degree. Those are I'll fuck with them. Sean Porter, I'ma fuck with Sean Porter. Whole body. That's my man. I'ma fuck with Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? Those are the black Americans that I'm rooting for. Because I see that they're limiting the legacy. That's their goal. What Andrade is doing is not trying to limit the legacy. It's stupidity, in all honesty. And I don't want to call the dude stupid because that's a trigger word, man. But there's no other word you can use to explain how he's conducting himself from a business standpoint. There's no reason why me not being the business savvy individual that I am can see the writing on the wall. You're not getting blackballed and colluded, bro. Nobody is out to get you. Nobody is out to get you. All that narrative goes out the window once Frank Warren put that money in your hand and got you in there with him to get the interim shot. To get an interim shot. To be right in line, right in the immediate scope of a Canelo Alvarez fight. He got that for you. You chose to jump back down and disregard that motherfucking Johnny Beck mandate and try to schedule a fight with Chris Eubank Jr. instead of trying to reschedule the fight with Zach Parker. You did that twice. You dug Johnny Beck and you dug Zach Parker twice. And Zach Parker ends up losing. John Ryder is more than likely candidate to get the Cinco de Mayo fight. And what do you? And instead of saying Andre, that could have been you. Oh man, with Canelo Alvarez going to fight another Euro bomb. It's like, yo, this shit is. Why are we not holding him accountable for his wrongdoings? But this is the black American scene. This is the black American boxing scene that y'all just head over heels about. Boots, that's another black American fighter that I'm riding with. Because he wants the drama. He wants it. Ride with Boots. That's another one. Fucking with Boots. I'm fucking with Jermaine Franklin. Them is the niggas I'm fucking with. Them is the niggas I'm fucking with. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can have Andre. Y'all can have Charlo. And speaking of Charlo, I seen somebody say, Charlo's doing, Bivol doing something that Charlo or that Canelo ain't got the heart to do. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? Because if y'all are gonna sit here and praise Charlo for going up there and calling out Dimitri Bivol, y'all better hit him with the same level of criticism y'all gave Canelo, and that is you ducking the fighters in your division to jump up and fight another. That doesn't even make sense. I wouldn't be mad at Charlo if he decided to jump up and fight Bivol. I wouldn't. I just know his cap. And I want y'all to hold his same feet to the fire. Y'all saying he got out of the way of trying to fight Benavidez and Charlo and Andrade to go and fight a cherry pick with Dimitri Bivol. How is Charlo not doing the same thing? How is he not doing the same thing? All them wolves in his division. How is he? Carlos Adames is on the street begging for a fight. How is he not met with that same level of criticism? How is he not met with that same level of criticism for saying that I'm not fighting Demetrius Andrade? I would never let him get money off of me. How does he not get the same level of criticism for calling out David Benavidez? And when David Benavidez matches his energy, I got niggas on here talking about, oh man, there's other fighters at 168 pounds to be worried about. Why are you worried about the 60 pound? Never mind the fact that the 60 pounder called out the 168 pounder. And it wasn't like, yeah, I think I can beat him. I do this, I knock that boy out. He get hit too much and this and that and the 30, yada yada yada. All right, cool. So what's up? I ain't fighting nobody under 25. You gotta get a COVID test. You gotta get this and that and the 30. Like, how is this even being praised, bro? And how actually it should be praised and it should be commendable. But the thing is, y'all would have to then turn around and salute Canelo Alvarez for jumping up to fight Dimitri Bivol. There's no way you salute and you congratulate Jermall Charlo for wanting that drama, for wanting to jump up and fighting, but denigrate him, Canelo Alvarez, for doing the same thing. There's no way you can get away with doing that. There's no way that makes logical sense. No way. But y'all don't care for logic. Y'all don't care for reason. Y'all don't when it doesn't match what it is that you're trying to push, whatever narrative you're trying to propagate. It doesn't matter. We forget quickly. Just last year, he was doing the same thing to Caleb Plant. He He was doing the same thing to Caleb Plant. I don't really remember hearing his name, him call Caleb Plant's name this year. I don't remember that. I could be wrong. You know, we're in the 11th month of the year. I don't remember him calling Caleb Plant's name, Jamal Charlo. I don't remember that. I don't remember him. Not this year. Not this year. He did all that woofing at the motherfucking Spence fight when it came to Benavidez. We ain't got no fight yet. There's no fight scheduled for them two. It's clout chasing, dog. It's clout chasing. It's clout chasing. There's nothing stopping Jamal Charlo from getting the fight in. There's nothing stopping him. There was nothing stopping him. He was comfortable with sitting on the shelf. And it just so happens that you're going to get that with the PBC. You only going to fight once or twice a year. Cool, I'll do that. I'll just kick it for the rest of the year. I'll just kick it for the rest of the year and just train. But this is who it is that y'all look to bang with and ride with. They don't even push for Jamel in the same capacity they push for Jamal. And Jamel is far more declarated. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, y'all gotta stop this shit, bro. Y'all gotta stop this shit. Y'all gotta stop this shit. That nigga gets drunk at all these fights and he goes out and he just start calling motherfuckers out. Oh, I want to be involved. We fight at 160. Undisputed. That man said undisputed. You have never held more than one belt at one time. What the fuck are you talking about? Undisputed. And even before, it was like, you ain't got no belt at 68. What are you talking about? All you gotta be for a belt, it could just be, you know what I'm saying, as an attraction. Which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at that fight, but are you gonna do it? And if he does do it, are y'all gonna hold his feet to the fire for circumventing all the hitters in his division to go up and get a cherry pick in the same way that Canelo Alvarez did? Niggas, just think about how stupid people are. Canelo has been overtly boisterous about wanting a rematch with Dimitri Bivol, and they're claiming that he's ducking him. Never mind that Dimitri Bivol said, I'm not fighting Canelo next. My objective is undisputed with Beterbiev. Never mind that shit. Never mind that. Canelo, he ducking Bivol because he know what it is. And they'll just completely disregard the fact that this man is saying, I want that rematch. Get a tune-up in May. Bivol rematch in September. They're ignoring all of that. All of it. None of that shit doesn't matter to them because it goes against whatever narrative that they're trying to push. And I just can't. I'm just like, yo, you can't be this oblivious to shit. And they are. They're this oblivious to shit. I can't deal with a lot of you dudes, man. It's the shit make I'll be about on the brink of heart attack dealing with you niggas. Listening to y'all talk on these spaces, bro. Like, y'all don't even try to present logical arguments. It's contradictory. It just makes no sense. And I'm a dude who likes people to be the contrarians. I like a motherfucker who can go against the grain. Cause I want to engage you, and maybe because I'm in a lot of cases I'm the contrarian as well. Maybe we see eye to eye on shit. Maybe we do. But in these cases, that ain't it. Because you niggas, y'all don't. It's no logic presented into y'all arguments. They're easy debunkable talking points. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. It's easy. How did I forget my man? The black American scene. How did I forget my man Terrence Crawford? How did I forget Bud? Y'all know I'm fucking with Bud. I forgot just like that. I'm like, oh shit, how did I forget to throw the champ's name in there? Omaha, Nebraska, hometown. That's the soil. How did I forget to throw his name in there? Those are the black Americans I'm fucking with. Y'all can have Charlo. Because all that running up he did on Bivol yesterday or whatever, it's not going to stick. It's not going to stick. He's going to do all that bloviating, and when it's time to get in the ring and not even in the ring, get to the negotiation table to iron out some deets, he's going to be nowhere to be found. He's going to be MIA. I ain't even speak on the shit that happened with him and his lady earlier this year, and his marital spats that I refused to even get in on. I didn't speak on his, his car being revoked at the diners and all that shit. I didn't speak on that shit because I just didn't. You did. I already am not a fan of the dude. For me to speak on some shit like that, that would be like as if I'm, just finding something to poke fun at him at. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. I think it's unfair what's happening to them as far as them not being properly compensated, their money being put on hold and all that shit. They not getting their entire purse. Nah, that's not nothing that I need to be speaking on, because that pisses me off actually. Them niggas just putting their life on the line. As meager as the opposition that they fighting is, they still putting their life on the line. You pay the man in full. So I didn't speak on none of that shit. I'll speak on whatever it is that just pertains to what's going on in the ring. The dude he's not trying to be active. It's clout chasing. Get drunk and trying to fight David Benavidez in the crowd. Get mad to smack the fan's smack the fan's camera phone out of his hand, but you're not gonna smack the man who smacked your brother. That's the shit that I'm talking. That little shit right there. We can speak on that because that's boxing related. That's in the realm of the sport. It's clout chasing, dog. It's clout chasing. Do all that barking to David Benavidez, you won't fight him. Call out Caleb Plant. Yeah, man, you rooting for Caleb Plant when he finna walk in the ring and fight Canelo. Won't fight him now that he's lost to Canelo. That man was vacant for the majority of the year, up until last month. He ain't had nothing locked in. There was nothing stopping you from getting in there and fighting him. Just didn't do it. We already know what it is with you and Andrade. We already know how you feel about that. Then you fight him. You swear up and down you want that Canelo drama. Canelo's not coming over to the PBC side of the street. At least he wasn't then, because he was signed to the zone still. Maybe we can get a better possibility now. But then no. Niggas wasn't hearing that. It's easy to call out somebody when they're locked in the contract, bro. Like he's locked in the contract with the zone. Eddie Hearn and him. Eddie Hearn. Now you calling out Bivol. Now it's Bivol. Man, this gotta stop, man. So at the end of the day, man, I just need y'all to widen your scope, man. The world is bigger than your hood. Your immediate block, or the Midwest, the West Coast, down south, and the East Coast, on the North American continent. It's a big world out there. Boxing is a global sport. And though we was once upon a time ahead of the wave, ahead of the game, that gap is starting to shrink. Just like in any other worldwide sport, that gap is starting to significantly shrink. You can't just ride that we American this, American that, and be like, oh man, that's just what it is, man. America. No, homeboy. No. I wouldn't be surprised if one day we start seeing Scandinavia and Russia and Germany and China and all them start beating us in track and field. I wouldn't doubt it one day. It ain't happening now, but I wouldn't doubt it one day. Just widen your scope, man. Everything ain't gotta necessarily be about America. And even then, for us to propagate the black fighters, the black American fighters, North American fighters, who are their biggest wins? Who's Shakur Stevenson's biggest win? Nah, we can't do that because that was Oscar Valdez. So he was he's Mexican. But you look at Devin Haney, biggest win was an Australian dude. Jamal Charlo, who's his biggest win? Sergey Derevyanchenko, a Ukrainian. Who's Andre's biggest win? Liam Williams. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta stop. Y'all have to stop, man. Deontay Wilder. Make an argument Robert Helenius is his best win. Dude's from Finland. Finland, bro. Finland. The cats that y'all push for are underperforming and underachieving, but y'all want to roll out the red carpet and put these dudes in position that they're not deserving of. Once upon a time, you would have had an argument. If David Benavidez was still a champion, you got an argument. But he's not. Andrade, you had an argument, but now you don't. And you look foolish because John Ryder won the fight. He was your replacement. Who's to say the amount of pressure that you're putting on Zach Parker, he doesn't throw that right hand out of desperation and break his hand in your shit? Because I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened in that fight, because John Ryder was starting to, he got his rhythm down, he got his timing down, he came, I'm starting to rally on, put that pressure on, he didn't like his space crowded, he was overly uncomfortable. I saw it in his face, he didn't like that. He throw this right hand, this ill-advised right hand, it's not even gonna land properly, I'm not gonna turn it, it's a badly thrown right hand, and I'm gonna break my shit. Trying to keep you off of me, get off me punches. That could have been, that could have been Demetrius Andrade, but it wasn't. So now you gotta live with that. And if instead of his fans holding his feet to the fire, we want to disregard that shit and talk about Canelo now fighting. Oh man, he fought another Euro bum for Cinco de Mayo. Dude has fought he's fought his last 10 fights, 8 of them was champions. What's wrong with him fighting John Ryder? And even then, John Ryder is not a bad opponent. If y'all want Benavidez and Charlo and Andrade to fight somebody the ilk of John Ryder, because that gives y'all more, y'all gives him that much more rope to hang Canelo Alvarez with. None of them niggas have fought anybody as good as John Ryder. None of them. Benavidez, you possibly could say because of Anthony Durrell, but Anthony Durrell went life and death for goddamn Abney Yildirim, and y'all swear up and down he was a bum. Look at who everybody that you just Billy Joe Saunders, Danny Jacobs, and Callum Smith, and now Zach Parker, a young up and coming prospect turned contender. Y'all swear that that is a good resume. That's a good resume right there. That's a good solid resume. 3 sitting at the time and former world champions on his resume. Andrade has none. Charlo has 1. Benavidez has 1. Well, 2 if you want to count David Lemieux, but not at 68. So, all in all, man, just keep the same fucking energy, man. Just keep the same energy. Hold these black American fighters to a certain standard. When you're in a position where you can critically think and just, provide constructive criticism to what it is they're doing, they move a lot more methodical. They move smarter because they don't want to lose you as a fan. They don't want to lose you as a fan. I'm not saying be I'm not saying be the dickhead, but you can hold their feet to the fire. But they're cool with operating in a certain level of comfort because they know they're not gonna meet any harsh criticisms from you motherfuckers. Because I mean, more than likely y'all not gonna buy their fights, but at least you keep their name alive on the forums. Black American fighters, dog. Shame on you, Demetrius Andrade, for getting the way out of that fight. Shame on you. I don't feel sorry for you. I just don't. I can't. There's no way I can feel sorry for someone who has made this many trip ups. Bro, you're equivalent to the dude who's running the 110-meter hurdles, and you trip over them bitches. And instead of going to the finish line, you walk off the field. You walk off the track. You walk off. That is what you're doing in now. You'll clear 2 hurdles and trip over the 3rd. But they'll find a way to blame Canelo Alvarez for making you have to run 110 hurdles instead of the regular 100-meter dash. Oh my God. Oh my Lord, man. That's all I pretty much gotta say about it, bro. Do better, you niggas in America. I'm talking to my North American niggas, man. Do better, and you fans as well. Y'all niggas are some bozos, man. By God, I'm outie, man. Deuces.